Hey, hey, stop. Get back. Get trying to do lesson 4 here, people. Sorry about that. Okay, so lesson 4, equivalent ratios. Kind of more of what from what we saw before, but we're also starting to bring in a little bit of a different technique as well. So lesson 4, equivalent ratios. We want to be able to use tape diagrams and the description of equivalent ratios to determine if two ratios are equivalent to each other. All right, so we want to figure out if they are equivalent. So let's see what we've got going on here. We've got the morning announcement said that be 2 out of every 7 sixth graders have an overdue library book. Jasmine said that would mean 24 of us have overdue books. Grace argued, no way, that's too high. How can you determine who is right? Okay, so if we go back to our knowledge of our tape diagrams, the idea of the tape diagram is just to give us a visual. So they're saying 2 out of every 7. So we've got 2 out of every 7. 1, 2, 3. Remember how I'm counting these guys lined up? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so this is the total students. All right, and these are the ones with the book issues. So I guess I'll say overdue. All right, and so what she's saying is that 24 of us have overdue books. So if 24 of us have overdue books, all right, the idea is now we can figure out how much each of these blocks are worth. So if it's a total of 24 and I got 2 blocks, 24 divided by 2 gives me, 12. That means each block is worth 12. So if each block is worth a 12, a 12, a 12, I don't want to do all this addition over and over again. So really, what type of problem do I have here? We've got a multiplication problem. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them there times 7. I multiply that together, I get 84. Now, this is how we can determine who's right. The question here is there 84 students in the 6th grade class? If we're basing this off of our school, the answer would be no way. Now, the thing about it is, no, it wouldn't be too high. It would actually be bigger. But the main idea here is we're talking about is to be able to set up a visual to figure out what each of the blocks are worth. The other thing that we also want to realize is when we set up these particular problems, and we're gonna see this in exercise 1 here, decide whether or not each of the following pairs of ratios is equivalent. All right, if the ratios are not equivalent, find a ratio that is equivalent to the first. Okay, if they are, identify the positive number, which we just call C. I mean, call it a letter there. All right, it's what we kind of call a constant in math. A constant is what. Let's put this in here. It's what you multiply by. All right. So if we have a ratio, we will be multiplying by the same number. All right, to keep things matched up. So first number with first number, what would you multiply 6 by to get to 42? Come on, what would you get there? All right, 7, exactly. So we're going to times it by 7. So if I multiply 11 times 7, do I get 88? No, sorry about that. Yeah, exactly. No, we don't. Yeah, no. Okay, calm down, people. It's just 11 times 7 here. Yeah, no way, we don't. Now, what we would need there is if we multiply the 7, we would need it to be a 77. Okay, so as we saw the ratios being set up, order is very important. And then the other thing we want to keep in mind is making sure that we're multiplying by the exact same thing here. All right, just like each box was worth 12, we'd multiply by 12 that was up here. Here, we just don't have the visual for it. And that's okay that we don't have the visual, because that's what we want to kind of lean you away from a little bit as we move forward. All right, letter B here. Now, this one's an interesting one that goes on here, and this is kind of more of displaying of a certain rule. All right, so if we look at what we've got going on here, you go, hey, what do I multiply by? Hey, what do you multiply 0 by to get to 0? Well, you multiply by 0. So the issue here is, hey, what do you if I multiply 5 times 0, do you get 20? Yeah, no. Okay, so here's the bigger rule here, all right? And even before I do any of this, the rule is this: can't multiply by 0. It's illegal. Okay, it's not like cops are going to bang down your door, okay, and drag you away. But it's not mathematically allowed when you're dealing with ratios. Because some people will go up here and they'll go, hey, if I start with this number, do you agree that 5 times 4 is 20? Yes. Do you agree that 0 times 4 is 0? Yes. So it kind of, it's like, wait a second, I just thought it didn't work, and now you're telling me it works. What's going on? I'm so confused. No, 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 you can't multiply by 0. So an equivalent ratio will be, yeah, none. There is no, we can't make equivalent ratios when we are using that particular number 0. All right. So again, multiply by the same thing is what's important, but with 0, you cannot use that. All right. Let's look down at what we got here. We're going to use this to actually set up and solve. So we got a bag of mixed walnuts and cashews. The ratio of the number of walnuts to the number of cashews is 5 to 6. Use a tape diagram to determine, oh my goodness, what just happened there, kids? Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. Use a tape diagram, all right, to determine the amount of walnuts that are in the bag if there are 54 cashews. Okay, so here's the whole idea. We always get our tape diagram down for a ratio. So it says it's 5 to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so even I got to kind of pause sometimes. And then I know it needs one more to make 6, so I'll just extend a little bit past it. There's my additional one, and then, oh, look how nicely I've kept them lined up. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, order is important, remember. So we have the number of walnuts to the number of cashews. So since walnuts came first, then the 5 came first, that's why those are walnuts. Cashews came second, all right, and then so the 6 has to come second, so that has to be your cashews. Now it does say number-wise there, hey, look, use a tape diagram in terms of, 54 cashews. So all of this has to give me 54. So if all this is 54, and I've got a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, if I've got myself 6 boxes, all right, yeah, it's a division problem. 54 divided by 6 gives me, absolutely, Mr. Ducky there, it is 9. So I know each box is worth 9. So when I come up to the walnuts, because that's what they wanted to figure out, determine how many walnuts are in the bag, and I know each box is a 9. How many 9s do I have there? 1, 5. So I'm going to do 5 times 9, and hello, 45. 45 walnuts. That's what we've got. All right. So again, nice little setup, the labeling, all right, all that type of good stuff. So let's watch kind of the bridge, kind of the trend. They want you to use multiplication to show how the new ratio created, all right, is equivalent. So, all right, well, let's see here. The first ratio was 5 to 6, okay. And then they told me, now since the 5 came first and the 5 was cashews, remember keeping these in order here, all right. I'm sorry, the walnuts came first. Oh my goodness. Did you see what I just did there? Wait a second. The number of walnuts matches up with the 5. And yet, oh, no, sorry, I thought I reversed the order there. Okay, people, this happens sometimes. This happens. I could have re-edited the video, but I want to show you that I do go through this where sometimes like I question myself and have to kind of go back. Again, order is important here. So we got walnuts to cashews, 5 to 6, yes. Determine how many walnuts if there are 54. Yeah, okay, so I did label it correctly. Whoo! All right, let's go back to where we were at there. Okay, 5 to 6. So we've got walnuts, all right, and then to cashews. So then what I figured out was I had 45 walnuts. All right, I'm going to put it right below it there because it's 45 with the walnuts. All right, again, order is important here. And then cashews, there were 54 cashews. And this is going to check my work because what on earth do you multiply by to get to 45? Come on now, 5 times what's 45? Yeah, 9. Absolutely it is. And then what would you multiply to get to that amount? Yeah, you have to multiply 9. I am, all right, multiplying by the same number. I get equal responses. So I just use multiplication to show how my new ratio is equivalent to 5 to 6. Again, the big thing here is when you multiply by the same number. That's the key thing. I multiplied them by 9. It worked out. It's done. It's over. We feel good about what we've got going on here. All right. That's it, people. All right. Enjoy the day.